Good morning, another beautiful week, and we welcome you to our Breakfast TV show, Good Morning Anambra. My name is Chidimma Orangwa, and this morning we are actually starting the show with the stories that are trending on our website. We'll start with our website, and after that we'll take you to the national dailies so that we'll know what the papers are saying this morning. We have our reviewers with us in the studio this morning, but let's just take a break. When we come back, you get to meet them. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to the show. And we have as guest this morning, Sir Jerry over there. Sir Jerry is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Sir Jerry.
Good morning. The Nigerians and the Anambra, good morning to you all.
We also have Samuel Olulu, also a public affairs analyst. Samuel, how was your weekend?
It was splendid. Good morning, Chidimma. Good morning, the Anambra.
All right, quickly, let's start with the stories that are trending on our website this morning. The very first story we have this morning, Mrs. Saludo distributes vitamin supplements to elderly people in Anambra. Mothering Sunday, Anambra Deputy Governor taxed mothers on child upbringing. Anambra State lawmakers inspect road projects, Lord Saludo on judicious use of funds. Mothering Sunday, Mrs. Saludo asks mothers to make child upbringing priority. Okay. Let's start with you, Sir Jerry. We've seen what we have on our website this morning. Yesterday, Anglican Murders celebrated Mothering Sunday, and from what we can see there, the deputy governor and the wife of the governor taxing mothers on child upbringing. Now, one wonder, why are they laying emphasis on the upbringing of a child? Is it because of what we see in our society today, what our youth have become today?
Yeah, it's actually part of it. The homes where you catch them young, and the Bible says if you teach, the kids the right path, when they grow up, they hardly depart from there. We know that some percentages do derail, but at least it's good to, instill good virtues, good values when they are very, very small. So that's, in essence, why they call from the deputy governor and the wife of the governor. I also joined in tasking the parents, the mothers, to instill discipline, good moral values to people, and it's not everything is not money. These days the mother 6 o'clock is off, the father 6 o'clock is off, and the children is kept at the school from 6 to 6, and there's no time for the parental, care and upbringing and nurturing. So, in one of the outings I went yesterday, we were stunned that some schools are even having primary schools at boarding.
Yes, definitely. Yes,
so
better than
you can imagine that, and they will grow up to be. They may get their first class and all that, but where is the moral? Where is the listening? And most of them easily derail and form gangs and do all this Yahoo thing. So let them take time and instill a good moral to them. And in the school too, when we were in secondary school, every Thursday we had a moral instruction. So I urge them to go back to that. It will help a lot.
Okay, that's for the schools
now. For the schools now.
Okay.
Yeah. So because these stages makes a complete person. So, that's my take on that.
Okay. Samuel.
Let me quickly talk about yesterday that was Modern Sunday,
Okay.
celebrated by the Anglicans, and then go into the other issues. Once again, happy Modern Sunday.
Thank you.
I think on Friday we celebrated International
Women's Day.
which those dives to Sunday and celebrating Mother's Day. So it tells us a lot of contributions and developments women have also led in Nigeria in particular, as well as in the world in general. We have seen the spectacular achievements women have actually made in our nation. But it doesn't make sense if we continue to aim high, gathering all the successes that we think we can gather academically, professionally, be it in the politics world, economically and otherwise. But when we come down home, our children are nothing to talk and to write home about. And because we are now beginning to change our value system, what we now hold dear is more around wealth than the character formation of our children, which is basic really. Because once we have gathered all this wealth and anything happens to us, even if we are alive, maybe we are becoming invalid, is it the child that you not really bring up well that will manage those resources effectively? And how can the child take care of you? So all these things are really huge issues, and I think it calls for conversation, deep conversation. The government have a big role to play. We should not continue to play emphasis on as things continue to rise. I mean, parents would need to meet up. Initially, it's usually the father that goes out to look for daily bread. But as we speak now, many mothers are even becoming breadwinners. So let us, when we are giving some of this advice, let us make sure that it is in terms with reality. If standard of living is reasonably affordable, then we can begin to also charge mothers that, okay, what are you even pursuing these things for? Sit down and train your child. And this is not just only for the interest of the family, it's also for the interest of the nation. We want to have more people who are doing well in Nigeria, because it will also speak well of us in the Committee of Nations.
So we start from the family.
Starts from the family. Then let's go to, I also commend Mrs. Soludo. She has been doing a lot. That is the first lady of Anambra State with her healthy living
campaign.
And I look forward to seeing her maintain that initiative really. Because over the years, many first ladies, when they are in power, maybe they just need to support their husband in office. Once that ends, it goes. I wonder what's happening to cafe project of the former first lady. These are not laudable projects. So I'm advising why they are doing what they are doing. They should try to remove themselves from it. They should plan succession plans. They should have succession plans so that even when they are no more in office, is it 8 years, it can continue to have that laudable impact. Imagine supplying vitamins to elderly mothers, elderly in the community. These are people that have given a lot, and many a times they feel dejected because their children are even out there hustling. So, and a lot of issues, they are barely getting attention.
Some don't even have kids.
Some don't even have kids. Some, because of the Japa syndrome, their children need to leave the country.
Yes. Nobody's taking care of them again.
Some of them might have even lost their children and their breadwinners. So I think we need to recalibrate our society really as a nation. Then finally, I commend the House of Assembly members who have gone out for their oversight function. Sometime 3 weeks ago, when we engaged the House, the Speaker, he was particular about citizens also giving them information that they would use, because it cannot be everywhere. And I'm using this opportunity to charge the governor himself too. We want a more open and transparent governance system. What are the projects that the state government is running? We need it to the details. The bill of quantity, this thing should be made available. Sometimes they would claim, they would tell that if you go to the website, they are there. But beyond getting to the website, we want active citizens, and citizens can only work with valuable information. So by that, I would commend the House of Assembly members who have gone out for this oversight function. And we also want to get, as citizens, how to engage them so that if at their own end, Nigerians and politics, they have a way of addressing issues because they are coming. They might want to make sure that some things are all well correct. But if the citizens are monitoring these people who are doing these road constructions, I bet you there are going to be some things that the citizens will see. And when the citizens sees them, let them engage the House, and we expect the House to also continue to do their work.
Okay, all right, thank you so much for that. Let's quickly go over to the papers we have this morning. We're taking the Daily Times, the Vanguard, and the Punch newspaper together. Let's start with the Daily Times. Presidency, Northern senators bear over alleged 3 trillion naira budget pardon. And then up there we can see how FX market in three cases down petrol importation. Bull lifts women-owned businesses with $6.02 million. No clues yet as bandits hold on to 502 abductees. Tinubu to launch student loan scheme Thursday. RMAFC calls for cut in governance cost, endorses Orasanya report. Ramadan begins today, Makinde calls for more prayers. And then over to Vanguard, businesses suffocating as energy costs shoot skyward. We have a lot of riders under there, up 41% to 635 billion naira. Its second biggest problem after Forex. Muslims begin Ramadan fast today. NAS padded the 2024 budget by 1.2 trillion naira, not Tinubu. This is coming from the presidency. Edo Cuba, how Edo South leaders, Obaseki, Iyadodo agreed on PDP running mate. We can't continue like this, coming from Professor Okonkwo, okay? And down there, hunger. If federal government fails to secure farmers, food prices will remain high, coming from FACAN. And then Fresh Suit asks the court to deregister Labour Party and bar candidates. African Games, gold reign for Team Nigeria. And then let's also see what we have in the next paper, the Punch newspaper. Schools in 14 states, FCT risks attacks, says the federal government. Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Castina, FCT orders affected 465 purpose women in kidnappers' den. Federal government receiving U.S. support to free victims. Presidency alleges sub-regional forces behind kidnapping. And then Tinubu launches student loan Thursday. Foreign scholars seeks inclusion. Only foreign borrowing can save Naira. Okay, this is coming from Clear CBN Debt, EIU. Naira devaluation fueling massive regional export. Governors. Okay, and then blackout worsen as hoodlum vandalized transmission line. Ramadan begins today. Sultan seek prayers against insecurity and hardship. Ogun police nab 3 for murder attempt. All earnings rise by 450 billion naira in 2 months, coming from the federal government. So let's quickly go over these papers. Let's start with you, Sir Jerry. Which of this topic would you want to speak on this morning? Quickly.
Yeah,
we have a lot of interesting stories.
About 3 papers. The issue of electricity is causing too much problem in Nigeria now. You know, this national grid collapse and all that. I'm surprised that thing is not yet rectified by now. You know, because the electricity is a very component thing that helps in the running of in any economy. You know, you can imagine the fuel that is being consumed and the diesel because of lack of electricity, and this translates to the companies pushing it to the finished product, and it leads to hike of the goods. And people continue to suffer. So I'm surprised that they have not found a solution to that. So that's I want them to urgently
I mean, it seems that the solution is even very far away from us because from what we can see, hoodlums still vandalize the transmission line. So, what is our fate now?
Okay, so it means the place is not even secured properly, and they should be proactive, not waiting till something happens then before you now, do fire brigade approach. So let them quickly put the electricity problem, fix it, secure the equipment, the material, so that these guys cannot have free access to tamper with it.
All right, Samuel, would you want to talk about this 3 trillion naira padding, budget padding?
Okay, so before I even go into the 3 trillion naira budget padding, first of all, let me join my Christian brothers to wish them happy Ramadan.
Christian brothers. Okay. Okay.
To wish them happy Ramadan.
Yeah, the fasting is starting today.
Yesterday, I heard when they said the Sultan had declared it for them, and then we join our Muslim brothers to wish them happy Ramadan and the best of it. Beyond prayers, we hope we can all work together to salvage Nigeria. That being said, in the spirit of the Ramadan, we want to believe that the House National Assembly, well, now the House of Representatives, that is the second, they have their own duties and responsibilities. And that is the second, they know what they're expected to do.
Yeah.
And I know beyond legislation, beyond consent, they also have, what is it called again? I remember it's one of the duties of the House of Assembly members, which is appropriation.
Appropriation,
yeah.
okay.
They have the right to take out money from this place. That is why they have that engagement with the executive members. When after the executive have finished their budget process and they bring it to them for passage, they sit with them and then know what to do. So at that point, most times they have argued that when House says remove money from here, put it here, okay, this one is too small, add here. Some have argued that is it budget padding? Others have said it is not budget padding. They are only doing their constitutional rule. But what matters here is the spirit that they used to do it. I remember January 1st, when I was here, I charged Nigerians that I love the level of activism Nigerian youth and many Nigerians have eschewed coming from the general election last year, 2023, where we were always trying to put INEC on the spot. What are you doing? People were asking questions, and a lot of analysts were having just to make sure that INEC delivers, even though they came up with a lot of stories. But that is different. I also want Nigerians to put in that kind of energy when it has to do with budget, the budget process, the budget implementation, the budget monitoring, the budget expenditure, and a lot of it. Nigerians need to know how much that, after it's even through the budget that we know the plans of the government for us. But if you ask an average Nigerian, have you seen your state's budget? Many persons will tell you that they have not seen it, don't even know the content. But I want to believe that after the constitution, the next or one of the next important documents is the budget. Because the budget says where the government is getting the money, how they are going to spend the money, and who they are going to spend it on. So I pay my tax, or I am a citizen, you get money, I don't even know who you spend it on. And that is why after the long and short of the whole story, because the citizens are not following up on the implementation of the budget, it ends up 80% of it being spent on a particular group of people more than the generality of the citizens. And the citizens cannot continue to sit without doing anything. So whether they have padded it or not, I don't think it should be an issue, even though it calls for a great concern. But where it is okay, you have increased whatever you want to do by 3 trillion. How are you going to spend it? But the unfortunate thing now is they are going to spend it only within themselves, internally, and then that is where we should begin to query it. Because if it is that they want to spend it for constituency projects, senators now begin to track those constituency projects. But if you see now, you see things like they said there is car park. Am I going to track or monitor their doing of the car park? Is it not when I have access to even go into the legislative complex? That is when I can track or monitor what is going on there. So at a time when Nigeria is at its lowest low, where there is high unemployment, where as advocates for good governance, and then we have been calling that we want the government to put closer attention to expenditure in health. We want the government to put attention to expenditure in education. We are talking about high food insecurity and then high food costs.
And also energy.
Even now,
because businesses are suffocating.
These have just been issues. Should we really have government officials who continue to spend on themselves? I think it's being sensitive of them. And what name do they want to make for themselves? If Nigeria collapsed, unfortunately Haiti is at the height of it. This what is happening in Nigeria started almost the same way for Haiti. Now it has been complete breakdown of law and order. Even the so-called president in Haiti has not entered the country since, just traveling from one country to another country and governing outside his country. Is that what we want for Nigeria? I don't even want that to even happen to us.
No, we are not even praying for that.
People who have armed men that have gathered confidence and that have taken power from the government, and the government complaining that subnational regions are the people sabotaging because of insecurity. How can we, in a country where we have people who are in charge, students, close to 500 of them, peoples? I just don't want to imagine what.
I'm talking about the Federal Capital Territory.
Even in the FCT that we thought was very, very safe. So I don't want to imagine what these children are going through. I don't want to imagine what the parents are going through. What are their crimes just because they're Nigerians? Yeah. I don't think we are.
Okay, so Jerry, what do you have to say about this launch? They are telling us in the papers this morning that Tinubu will launch student loan on Thursday. And also foreign students are also asking for inclusion. You know, when they when they started talking about the student loan, so many people came up with the idea that they don't even know the criteria, how the student will access this loan. And then who are the people that actually need this loan? Are they the people that will get it at the end of the day? There are so many questions that are begging for answer when it comes to this student loan. So what are your thoughts on this?
My thought on that is that, the letter came up with criteria, but I can tell you that it's hard to get. It's hard to get because what they brought out as their criteria is something that one cannot easily, get. So, but let people. Most of the things the federal government, come up with hardly benefit the right people, So I won't be surprised if, at the end of the day, those people that you may want to say that they are indigent may not get
the people that actually need the loan.
The loan, it will go back to those, cronies and political people. So let us see how it plays out.
All right.
For me, for the student loan, I know this is the third or fourth time they are moving it. If I'm not mistaken, the student loan policy was the first edit of the president, because Femi Madabiamila, we were working on it even as the then
House of Rep Speaker.
So when the president, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, won, of course, with Tinubu, they all quickly, that was the first dictate they had, that they're going to do the student loan. And we're asking ourselves, who are going to be the beneficiaries? How would these beneficiaries pay? And now let us say something. If you go to the US, they have been practicing student loan for a long time. And I remember Trump is calling that it should be scrapped because many people are owing. And that's in America. How much more in Nigeria, where it is very difficult for a friend or a brother who is in need that you have helped out to prepay
back
his money or her money. Then they are talking of student loan. For me, if we need to get Nigeria right, I'm not saying student loan is not bad because of the nature of access to funding. Because when an average Nigerian student, when you talk to them, part of what they complain that are issues is funding, finance, tuition fee. But we're looking at the things surrounding the student loan. The government, of course, subsidizes education even at the tertiary level. There are sometimes they give support to tertiary institutions. But what they want to do is to remove some of those subsidies. I think Nigeria will need to come back home, sit down and plan and recalibrate our development. What is it that we want for ourselves? I know either way that we want to go, we can actually achieve huge success if we have a clear-cut plan. If you are going to put this way, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, but these are what you are going to do to achieve it. Or if you are going to this way, it's going to be easier, but these are what you need to do to achieve it. So that when the citizens are looking, they know where they are going to. And not a country where at a funeral, a governor makes a soul-searching comment, and the number 3 citizen of the country comes and begins to antagonize what the governor said, bringing politics into a funeral. And then I begin to ask myself, does it then mean that if this is what people are discussing at this level, when they pay their politics, what then do they do?
Discuss. All right, quickly, let's see what we have on the front page of the Daily Independent. New CBN interest rate will put real sector under pressure, coming from analysts. Governors adopt fresh strategies to end food crisis, economic hardship. And then Serap threatens NCC with lawsuit for blocking Nigerians' phone lines. Presidency denies claims of operating 2 versions of 2024 budget. And then we still have a lot there. Security operatives kill 20 IPOB fighters in Imo gun battle, recover assorted weapons. Anyoko, eminent leaders of thought to convene national dialogue. Fire got Kano electricity transmission station market in Yenegoa. Abductions. It's time to act fast, says IREP's speaker. Then the Nation newspaper is next. Okay, all right, let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. Estimators peg exchange rate at 1,400 naira per dollar. Per dollar as naira finds fair value. And then we have delays, uncertainties in student loan scheme compounds woes. Federal government lawmakers fought budget padding, claims Huriwa urges probe. Governors unveil proactive steps to address food crisis. NDLEA intercepts illicit drug consignment in commercial bus engine. Arrest 2 grandpas. To stem rising food prices and anger in the land. That's an editorial. You can find that on page 12 of the Guardian newspaper. And security agencies mourn as search for adopted Kuriga school pupils continues. So, Jerry, quickly.
The search for adopted Kuriga school pupils continues. Let's, with all the name, the national identification number, so many other things that have been done to track down the phone of those adopters and daughters. We still don't track them. It's unfortunate that we are in this mess. If it is an advanced client, once such a thing is done, the next less than 1 hour to get that, you hear that those guys are tracked and arrested. But I don't know what is really happening, in Nigeria with all this.
All right. Thank you so much. Samuel, do you think that this national dialogue that is going to be happening very soon, Anyoko and also eminent leaders of thought, do you think that it will address some of the issues? In fact, most of the issues we are facing, because from what we are seeing, that governors have adopted fresh strategies to end food crisis. Though they didn't, unless we read the paper, we know the strategies they've adopted to end food crisis. But it's not just food crisis. We have a whole lot on our table, on our hands now. So this dialogue, this national dialogue, will it do any good?
Ordinarily, dialogue is supposed to at least bring to the fore the issues. and everybody would have a holistic view at it, make suggestions, and then reach at a compromise that they will be taking home. Ordinarily, that's what dialogue does. And at every crisis, at every battle, at every war, no matter what it is, it ends up in a dialogue. So for them to talk about dialogue, what we ask, what happens to the 2014, if I'm not mistaken, National
Confab?
This is still dialogue. What is going on?
So we keep on dialoguing.
What the dialogues have actually come up? What are we doing with it? And beyond that, I want to just charge Nigerians, enough is enough really. We are very productive to make life meaningful for each and every one of us. I don't see the reasons why a group of persons will just continue to pin down the entire population and just 1% of them. And the thing is, they've forgotten that pinning the citizens down, they're also pinning themselves down. And this is now bringing me back to the genesis of the problem. Election in Nigeria and election, just like in every other place, have consequences. If people don't have faith in the system, sabotage is bound to happen. And this is what is happening. People have lost hope, people have lost faith. So if they had gotten it right from day one, you will see everybody contributing. After all, during the election, some things that were never done before, you saw people giving in their own money to make sure that the election goes successfully. People were on their own bringing out money to carry out campaigns, to carry out awareness. That it should also be the same thing in a country where people believe in that in the project of the country. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing that happen. But I end by saying, while the issue of dialogue by Anyoko and Co is ongoing, why not we go back to regional governance where everybody manages their resources? I mean, these things are there. Why should we wait for the Anyoko group, and would it be backed by the government? If it is not, it becomes one of those civil society.
It's just an academic
conversations.
All right. We really need to go because we still have a whole lot on our show this morning. I want to say a very big thank you to both of you. Thank you so much, Sir Jerry Obodo, for being part of the press review this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And also to you, Samuel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dima, for having me. And then thank you, ABS. Nanambra, have a wonderful new week.
All right, that's it on Press Review this morning. Thank you so much for being part of it. My name is Chidinma Oranwa. Let's take a short break. We'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.